Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Artists of Color, and I am your host, Elaine Hall-Corbin. It is nice to be back on the set and talking to you all. I want to, before I introduce my guest, I want to read a little line that I found about her, and her and I are going to talk about this line. It says, "When I cease to create, I cease to exist." Now, for everyone that's here watching Artists of Color today, I want to introduce my guest, Abria Smith. Abria, we got you, girl.
I'm excited. Thank you so much for having me come here.
You are so welcome.
I appreciate it.
I am honored. I say that because I always find that there is so much talent in our community. And I remember when I first met you, I'm going to tell you about that. When I first met you, you were cast in a play. You were part of our theater company.
Oh, Our Place Theater.
Our Place Theater Company. That's when I first met you. And you were doing a play, but that happens to be, it was on my birthday.
Oh.
So that was the very first time I had come to see a program there. And I said, well, how come I never heard about these people before? And what the Our Place Theater Company was doing, they were doing the African American Theater Festival.
I miss those so much.
I miss you.
I miss those.
I know, me too. But that's when we met. And I've kind of like followed you around here and there, and I always see you everywhere.
I know.
We see everybody. We see, like I want to talk about the play that you did back in December.
And I can remember.
That's okay. Bullalu.
The
Ballaloo.
Yeah.
Yeah, something here in the kitchen.
Yeah, like Ballaloo in the hair kitchen or something like that. Yeah.
That was interesting.
The reading that we did, yeah.
Those readings were amazing.
Yeah, there are some really awesome playwrights in the community.
See?
Yeah, there are some awesome
and that's
playwrights.
one of the things I always talk about. We have so much talent in our communities, and people don't know, or not only people don't know, they're not coming forward. They're not coming forth, and that's why I do what I do. That's why I'm here, and that's also why I publish my art and cultural publication, because I want folks to know that the talent is here, and we need to not only expose it, but we need to support it.
That's awesome.
And I want to talk about you. First thing I want to ask you, I know you're a Roxburyite, so that part I don't have to ask, so I know. But I want to know, when did you decide to become an actress, or why?
Oh, that's interesting. So I actually became involved in music before I started acting. And I think around, goodness gracious, I started acting maybe first I was a poet. Before a musician, I started off as a poet.
Oh, okay.
So that was the first thing. I've been writing poetry since about age 7.
Ooh.
That's when I started. So that was my first main thing. And the acting, I mainly did that in the mirror by myself. I was always
there you go.
I was always a character,
like me.
but I was a shy character, so I did it by myself.
By yourself. Nobody saw you and nobody heard you.
Yep. And I got into acting maybe around I want to say 1999, 2000, something like that. Okay. I was working at First Church in Roxbury.
Oh, really?
That's where I worked before I started working at Berkeley.
Okay.
And that's where I met Jackie Parker, and Jackie was artistic director of the Our Place Theater Project, and we had so much fun. And she just created a lot of different opportunities for people to
She has created so many opportunities.
She's helped to develop so many artists in the community.
Yes, she has.
So basically she had us come together, like whatever your talent was, she's like, bring it. And she would weave a show together
around
with everyone's different talents, and then, whatever it was you could do, she'd always like try to pull more
out
of you. So I really started acting for real with our Place Theater Project, and I definitely feel like you know, that's really where I started to like kind of grow, and then like, you know, with Jackie as a mentor, like started to kind of learn more about what, you know, what was my voice and what, and how I could use all of the emotions and things that I usually tend to keep bottled up, how I could use them and pour them into some of these characters. So yeah.
That can't be me.
No, that's me.
Wow.
Sorry.
That's okay. So when you started working with Jackie, what did you find yourself coming out with?
So a lot of what I did, as I said, I'm a poet.
Yes.
So that's what I started. Like a lot of the pieces that I started with were like spoken word pieces, or some, you know, some like rap pieces. So we'd incorporate all that like into shows.
Right.
And then after that, you know, she later on, kind of in the process of like developing the African American Theater Project that we used to have at the Boston Center for the Arts. Those were some really, really amazing times. I really miss that. She started,
because I used to go to all of them,
and they were amazing.
All of a sudden, they weren't there anymore.
I know, and I don't know when I don't know when or why they stopped, but I'm sad they did.
I am too.
One of the cool things about that is she would bring like maybe a well-known play, but then there was always a night of new works.
Yes, and I love the new work.
And she would basically take all of the like the artists she was working with, and she'd have us like do workshops where we would write short plays. So she developed us as like playwrights too, and actors. And my first short play I wrote with our Place Theater Project, and then there was another one that I did. And since then I've written like a couple more, and like there was one that was produced at we had a festival with Jackie as our place, a play called Trauma that we did out at the Gloucester Stage Company.
Really?
So that was a cool opportunity too. So I've had so many opportunities that, you know, came out of like working with our Place Theater Project, and I've definitely grown a lot, you know, as an actor and performer through our place.
Oh, you've done an amazing job. You've done beautiful work. I love watching you perform. Because the Balaloo, I was like, would you look at Abria up there? It's okay. Really? I loved it though. I liked your performance, you know, because how you communicated with your sister, the young woman that played your sister, and then I think the other one was your niece who was taking care of her mother, and you were trying to get her to take the teas, and it was just
trying to give her the old-fashioned remedies.
There you go, the old-fashioned.
And that was very interesting. So we were basically, I guess, helping those playwrights to develop their work. So they do like live readings of the plays and give the audience a chance to kind of give some feedback.
Yes.
And those are amazing to me because it's like we get our hands on like new material that's like kind of in the making. So it's like we're part of history.
That's right.
Yeah.
Always.
So, yeah. I love to be able to just hear new voices. Yeah.
I love new voices.
Yeah.
I really do. That's why when I go to see new works, we don't call them now because we haven't got our Place Theater Company. But when you're going to see new works and new writings, there are new voices. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the reasons why I do what I do, because I feel like when I write an article about a program that I've seen, I feel like I'm writing it from the artist's voice, because I believe, truly and honestly believe, that unless you're a Black and brown artist, you don't know our voice. And I have to write from our voice, because I can hear and I can feel what the writer is saying.
Mm-hmm. And you can relate to a lot of it,
is performing or projecting. Yeah, you know, And that's one of the reasons I love doing that.
It's so good that you do that, and it's really nice that, like, if I'm at a performance and I see you, I'm like, oh, it's nice to see you there, and I appreciate the love and the support all the time. It just feels great.
I love my performance. I love my artists because to me it's important. It's part of our history, our continued history. Like we were talking outside, and I was telling you I went to see Woman King.
Yeah.
I won't tell you much, but it got me to see that, first of all, I did not know it was a true story.
I still have to see it, yeah.
I found that out. But I feel like we're talking about beating them with the wet noodle.
It's like lining people up and beating them with wet noodle. I'm like, that's not very nice.
I know. But actually what I was really trying to say was that we need to get all our young women and girls in a room and sit them down and let them watch that particular movie. Because I feel they would begin to realize that we're the ones that need to hold our community accountable. Yeah. We're the ones that need to hold our young men and our young boys accountable, and for them to learn their heritage, which is why art is so important to me, because Black and brown art is our culture. Yeah. And when I see artists like you and Jackie and Kat Morris, you youngins out there, you queens out there doing the job, to me, that's important. And nobody else is going to write for us like we do, because they're not our voice.
That's so true.
It's not our voice. I have to ask you, what do you do at Berkeley?
Oh, I am the director for city and community engagement at Berkeley. I work in the Office of Community and Government Relations.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, all right. So what does that entail?
Most of what I do has to do with like partnerships, different community collaborations, creating mutually beneficial partnerships for Berkeley and community-based organizations. Also partnering with the city to offer free concerts during the summer.
Oh, okay.
Sending Berkeley students out to work as paid student employees by the college to work at community-based organizations like Boys and Girls Clubs. We've had people placed at like YMCA. A lot of what the students do in these paid positions are working as music mentors.
Oh, and I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, so they're like coaching students on instruments, like either one-on-one or group lessons. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And we partner with the City of Boston's Parks and Recreation Department.
Oh, the Parks and Recreation, okay.
Yeah, and we have a few series, like the Tito Puente Latin Music Series during the summer. 2 jazz concerts. One is Jazz at the Fort, that you might have heard of.
Oh, and you guys do that?
Yeah.
I've been up there, but I did not know that Berkeley was a part of that. Yeah.
Yep.
I try not to miss that.
It's usually the first Sunday in August.
Yes, it is.
So, yeah.
Climbing up that hill just to get to the fort. Okay, now.
We have something exciting planned for this time, so yeah.
Oh, I'll be there.
I was just able to confirm the artist for that one, so I'm excited.
Very good, very good. Yeah. I want to go back to you. Do you teach? When I say teach, are you teaching young performers to be performers, or are you a mentor is what I should say?
I don't formally teach.
Okay.
I think that if I do teach, I hope that it's by setting a hopefully good example for for anyone who's observing me doing whatever it is I'm doing, even if it's just being goofy. Because the lesson in that, like, I'm always going to be me. I'm goofy wherever I go, and anyone who knows me knows that. So the lesson in that is that it's okay to be yourself.
Yes.
Some people might like it, some people might not, but you can't be worried about that. You have to be true to who you are. So that's what I try to do. Do I work as a mentor? I volunteer as a Girl Scout troop leader.
You do?
So yeah, I'm a brownie troop leader.
She's a brownie troop leader. Oh, where's your troop at?
We're based out of Roxbury. We usually, it's 79261, that's our troop numbers. We usually meet at Northeastern, but since COVID happened, we haven't been able to
you haven't been able to get in there?
We haven't had meeting spaces there. We've been doing a lot of virtual meetings, like Zoom meetings, and now that we're kind of trying to be back in person, we've been doing field trips.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing. And
earlier I asked you about you getting started as an actress, and we talked about that, and we talked about Jackie. My question is, was there, before Jackie, was there someone that you, I won't even say looked up to, but felt that, oh, I want to be that person, or I want to be that particular artist or actor?
You know what's really interesting about that? I can't think about, like, even when it comes to poetry, doing poetry, music, or acting, I can't really say that there's ever been like one particular artist that I've liked, and I might not even remember like the names of people that I liked. There might have been like a certain performance by someone who you know, that I observed, and I was just like, oh, that's really cool. But yeah, I can't say that there's ever been any like one person who I'm like, I want to emulate this person or that person.
Because you're all what you said earlier. And I'm going to go back to that. What you said earlier, being true to yourself.
Or in my case, I might say selves.
Selves.
Because I always say I have a million personalities, and that's true.
Okay.
That's true. And I think I'm there. So there might be different things that I admire in different people. So there's all those different elements.
And you know, all come together,
smooshed into one person.
Just one you. I understand that. I clearly understand that. You know, so I just, you know, it was a question. We're gonna talk about this more, but I want to know what made you decide to write a book?
I don't remember when I decided to write a book, but like I said, like I started writing poetry at like the age of 7. I remember like one of the first poems that I wrote. I went to like the Agassiz Elementary School.
Oh, I know that school. Yes.
I'm like, I don't even know if it exists anymore, but yeah, we had a thing where we wrote poetry, and mine was one of the poems that was chosen to be read over the loudspeaker in the principal's office. And I was like,
I know you were
so scared. I was so scared, but I was proud of my little poetry, and I think after that, I think I was really, really inspired to keep writing poetry. And then I think the first time I had, this is a republished version of the book. I think when I first published it, I had a version where I had drawn like illustrations and things for it.
Oh.
But I kind of like restructured it, and it no longer has the illustrations, but I just kind of like sectioned it differently. So it was, I think that was 2019 when I kind of republished this one. The first one was, it might have been like 2009, but I had been thinking about it for a long time, and I'm like, you know, I think I want to publish a book, and it took me it took me forever. It took me forever to do it, and not because it was the hardest process, but I guess I didn't really know what to do at first.
How to get started. Yeah, I understand.
So I had to figure that out, the easiest way to do it, and then also, you know, putting your own like personal words out there. It's like putting yourself on the page. That's kind of scary sometimes too. It is. You know?
It is, because I know when I write articles for the publication, there are words that I want to say, and then I say to myself, well, maybe I shouldn't phrase it that way, because maybe they're not going to really understand what I'm trying to say, even though I know. Some people might not, but some people might, and it might hit people the wrong way. So yeah, I can understand that. But I tell you, there was a piece that we have of you, and I would like that piece for us to play that piece now, so we can get a little bit more into who Abria Smith is.
I'm like, what's this piece?
Get that piece.
Sample, and I like to make it a point to show people that I am not perfect. I have flaws, but I still keep going, and quitting is never an option because there's always more to do. And my goal is to be a better person every day, and as long as I'm on that, even if I fall, I'm still going to be okay. My main battle in life is probably that in my heart and mind, I'm an artist and I live in a world of music, poetry, and bright colors. But in reality, I'm a mother who works full time and struggles to keep my art alive. And in that struggle, I find myself fighting against depression and voices that tell me that I can't do something, because it's kind of difficult when your art is what keeps you alive and you're having trouble keeping it alive. So I fight against that. Another cause that I feel very strongly about are just causes related to ending homelessness or trying to relieve folks who are in a situation where they don't have a place to call home and they lack the resources to make it every day. So anytime I can volunteer to either help feed someone who's homeless, connect someone who's homeless to resources, and help families to kind of build on what they have and actually have a better life for themselves, I'll definitely try to do that. What inspires me as a woman is the fact that there are a lot of other women out there who are struggling against things that are far worse than the things I'm struggling against. And they're still doing it, being fierce, looking good, and just kicking butt and taking names. There are 3 words to describe my little warrior, and that's stubborn, passionate, and resilient.
I hope you got a lot out of that. I did. I'm Elaine Hall-Corbin, your host. Welcome back to Artist of Color. And we have my guest today, as you've been hearing and seeing, Abria Smith. Thank you, Abria. What made you decide to do that video?
That video was actually something that Shay Rose was doing. Yeah, it was a Little Warrior series that she was doing.
Okay.
So she interviewed several different women for it, and I was really excited to be a part of that.
That was amazing. There was so much there. Your emotions, what you feel, what you've decided, what your promises are in life, what you want to do, how you want to help others. I think that is so just so emotional. And I love that. It's one of the reasons you and I get along.
I'm just so emotional. And I'm looking at the piece. When I saw you had the piece, I'm like, man, she was like cyber stalking. You were digging up all kinds of stuff. That's so funny.
I said, there's stuff out there about Abria I don't know, and I'm gonna find it. And we're going to put it in this show today.
And you found some stuff.
I found it. I was pleased. I was sitting in the middle of my bed last night saying, there's an Abria Smith in here, and I'm going to find her. And we're going to have it.
On the interwebs.
There you go, on the interwebs.
On the interwebs.
Oh, girl. It was wonderful to know more, to understand you more, and to know more about you, and what your creativity is, and what your humanity is. And to me, artists are humans. Our art is for humanity. Our art is for our humanity. And I feel like every artist that I meet has a human piece to them. And their work is human. And it makes me say, I want to let the rest of the world know that. And when I sit and I talk to and have conversations with people like Abria Smith, the Cat Morrisons, the Jackie Parkers, and I'm not sorry, if I speak more of the sisters and the queens, it's because they're part of our culture and they keep the culture going. And to me, that's important. That's why I say there are certain things that others that don't know about their culture need to see and hear so they can begin to understand that we're not what others think we are. We are who we are. Our culture is who we are. That's important to me. I want that to be understood. I want our other young girls to know that. I want our young boys, our young men to know that, because it's important. We have to, art is our culture and it's our community, and we have to use that in order to save our community. And because you do certain things, and because you're an artist and a poet and a writer, I want everybody to know that, you know, there are many of us out here. There are other Abria Smiths out there, and they are working to bring the art and the culture to the community so that we can teach our children and our young people. Because there's more to life than violence. And we need to be able to teach them that there's more to us than violence. And that, you know, when I just listened to that piece, and I said, because I listened to the whole thing first, and I said, yep, that's the one. And I said, yeah, I want this to be played, because I said I can see that that's the inner Abria, and I had to have a little bit more about the inner Abria in there. So I got that. You know, when you put that together, and I know you did the series, and did you decide what you wanted to put in there, or did you just, did it just came out?
Specific questions.
You were asked specific questions.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. You did an amazing job.
So I was being interviewed, but you only saw my side of it.
That's right. Well, you know, I could hear a voice in the back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I heard that.
So you kind of experienced the other side of it too.
Yeah, I heard it. We're going to talk about this book. Let's talk about this book. This book, I want everybody to see this book, wherever you all may be. This is called Somebody's Soup. And I want Miss Abria to tell us about Somebody's Soup.
This is Somebody's Soup. There's something in this for everyone. Go and get your copy of Somebody's Soup.
I love it.
Just kidding. So
we talked a little bit about this, but let's talk about this book.
Somebody's Soup has poetry in it from as far back as middle school.
What?
Honestly, some of these pieces. So there are pieces that I worked on years and years ago, and a lot of it was just me having a way to express myself, like being a really shy kid, trying to figure out, you know, what are the ways I can like make my voice heard, not necessarily heard, but just get it out. Yes. Because a lot of things were hard for me to express, and I always understand. Yeah, I always found that it was easier for me to communicate in writing than it was for me to speak, because when I try to speak, the nerves and everything else get in the way, and then I'm like, oh, I can't do that. I can't say words.
Oh, there you go. I can't say words.
Yeah, so this was definitely a way for me to find my voice. So that's what a lot of this, is. And Somebody's Soup was a name that, that came to me.
I was going to ask you, why that name?
I don't know. This is what came to me, and I guess I just imagined we are all a collection of somebodies. Like there's not just like one aspect to our personalities. No. Especially for me, it's like I feel like when we hear our inner voice, it's often inner voices, based on our emotions, our moods. Yeah. It can always be different. So it's like Somebody's Soup. We're just like a blend of a lot of somebodies coming together. Blending together into this one crazy, amazing bowl of
There you go,
person.
Bowl. There you go. There you go. We are going to have a break, and we're going to talk more about Somebody's Soup when we get back.
What's more dangerous? A man who isn't afraid of death or one who's found everything to live for? I asked him if he was proud of me. He emphatically said yes, as he laid his pecan-colored head on my chest, and I went through my mind 1,000 times to figure out what that could possibly mean, and every single example ended in motivation for me. So you may not be afraid to die, but I'm more afraid to let them down. And I found something to live for, which is a dangerous motive forever fueled. See, your thoughts may be involuntary, but my actions are very calculated. I was a man with a plan, but now I'm a dad with a decree, and you can't take that from me. My sons ain't raised by no coward, and they won't be one either. If this be the measure of a man, the yardstick gonna need way more meters. I take it too far, so they never come up short, because I found everything to live for.
As a scientist, I know by the time she takes her first breath, 9 billion more tons of carbon pollution will be in the air. When she takes her first steps, wildfires will have burned millions more acres she could have explored. By the time a child born today goes to college, it may be too late to leave them the world we promised. Our window to act on climate change is like watching them grow up. We blink and we miss it.
Welcome back to Artists of Color. I'm Elaine Hall-Corbin, your host. And of course, today my guest is Ms. Abria Smith. And we were talking about somebody's soup. So, continue with somebody's soup, because we talked about the bowl and the soup being in the bowl.
Just a big bowl of mushy person.
There you go. You know.
Yeah, and one of the things about the book, and I guess the way that I write, I don't just write in one voice. Like some of the poems that I have are written in the voices of other characters, and they some of them are not my things that I've experienced directly. It could be traumas that I've witnessed, or things that I've observed. And I kind of take those things in and try to think about, so the person who has experienced this, what do they sound like? What is what kind of life do they live? How do they express themselves? And then they'll come out in different voices.
Okay.
And a couple of them at least are.
We're gonna let Abria read to us. She's gonna do a little bit of a couple of readings for us, because I want her voice to come through in what she reads.
Gotcha. One thing that might be helpful to read, so there's the title poem, Somebody's Soup.
Oh, yes.
I should start with that one.
Okay.
And this is a kind of another take on somebody's soup. Longing for something to nourish my soul. Hungry for food that will make me feel whole. I'm sick of the junk that just gets me by. Somebody's soup is the new thing I'll try. I tasted life and it did me no good. Spent too much time feeling misunderstood, not understanding what held me back. Somebody's soup was the thing that I lacked. Wasting my days being stuck, feeling lonely, hurt and dismayed by the ones who disowned me. Dreaming, not living, pasts worth reminiscing. Somebody's soup was the thing I was missing. So I took my tears and with self-love, I mixed them. Threw in some problems and strength to help fix them. Created a dish that's bitter and hearty. Somebody's soup to make me somebody.
I love that.
Thank you.
That is beautiful.
So that was, there's one that is one of my favorites. Let me see if I can find it. It was written, here it is. It was actually written in the voice of a character that was in a play, a play that we did through our place theater.
Okay.
And there was a character in the play whose husband was a dancer. And this was her talking about her husband. It's called When My Baby Dances.
I think I remember that part.
Oh, okay.
Okay, start
This is one of my favorites.
I think I remember that one.
I love to watch my baby dance. His subtle strength and class, He steps, and my heart aches. He turns, and my soul shakes. He leaps, and as his earth, I quake. When my baby dances, his arms flow with the grace of wings on black butterflies. His hands open wide, welcome me. When my baby dances, he dances for freedom, and his feet dance the march of 1,000,000 black soldiers. I love to watch my baby dance, his passionate expression. He sways, and I'm mesmerized. He bends, and I'm hypnotized. He whines, and tears fall from my eyes. When my baby dances, his eyes glow with the embers of radiant black love. His succulent flesh beckons me. When my baby dances, he dances for life, and he moves to the beat of eternity.
Oh, I love that. That is beautiful.
That was one of my favorites. I'm like,
I
because I can
love
just
that, 'cause
see.
now it's gonna be. I could feel
You
it.
can see him.
If my eyes were closed, and I could say, I can see this. That is beautiful.
So I don't know. Should I read another one, or
No,
we'll
'cause
talk some more?
Let's talk some more.
Okay, we could just talk some more.
Where did now? I want to talk about when my baby dances. How? I know it had to do with the play, and I remember that. But what made you decide to write about it?
That's a good question.
Uh-huh.
I don't know that I know that. I think that sometimes, like honestly, there will be like characters that speak to me,
you?
and
Yes.
it's like, you know, like this is my story. This is how I want it to be told.
I like
And
yes.
so that's how I tell it.
There you go.
Yeah.
And because I find that writers, when you're a really good writer,
I wouldn't call myself that, but
What?
I'm an expressor.
okay. But when a writer is a writer, you're telling a story.
Yeah.
And you're telling that story from what you've seen, what you've heard, experienced, or what someone else has seen, heard, or experienced. And you're taking that experience and you're putting it on paper for others to hear and for others to see. There's a woman, did you ever see, oh goodness, ever heard of the book called Thresh and Hold?
No.
Thresh and Hold, I met the author. She was here last winter, and I met her. We were down at the bowling center, and she did a reading down there. And I cannot say, her name is Malanda? I think it's Malanda.
Not you, Melanie.
Huh?
Not you, Melanie.
No, not
her.
Not New
Oh.
Melanie. Nope, not her. She's my next
So
project.
another, so I'll have to find out about this
It's
person.
called Thresh and Hold. And the whole book is about her growing up down in Geechee country,
Wow.
okay? And how life was for her. And then leaving there and coming back after all these years and getting these stories. And she put those stories into a writing. Some of those stories were about grandpa and grandma and aunts and uncles, and missed this one here and missed that one there and missed this, and Easter Sunday. I have the book. It's amazing. I said, huh? And what it reminded me of when I was reading it, it reminded me of how my grandfather used to talk about things from way back when down in Georgia, because he was from Macon, Georgia, and my grandmother was from Harlem, Georgia.
My grandmother was from Georgia. I don't remember which part, but yeah.
See, there you go. I never knew there was such a place called Harlem, Georgia.
Yeah, that's a new one for me too.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. Like, what? No. But to listen to those stories and to have them put down on paper and to be able to feel the emotions of the writer coming through on those pages, like you. I love that.
Thank you.
I love both of those pieces. That, you know, like I said, I closed my eyes and I could just see her baby dancing. I could see that.
I could see him dancing too. I was like, dance, baby, dance.
There you go, girl. There you go. It's like you want to be there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You're hearing it, or you're either hearing it or you're reading it, but you want to be there because you want to see it and feel it more.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Definitely.
What are your plans? Do you intend to write more? That's what I want to say.
I do. I definitely do. Like I said, this this book has poetry, some from as far back as middle school, and I think
middle school. I'm gonna read this
which
book
is
tonight.
like I look at like a lot of poets and the way that they create, and I am like, I don't know. I just think it's so amazing how quickly people come up with things and how brilliant the things that they say are.
Yes.
And I'm just like, oh man. And when I write, it sometimes takes me a long time. Like there are so many things that I like to express, but it takes me a long time to like focus and finish stuff. So this book took a long time to be finished.
That's what it needed to happen. That's what it needed to happen.
I want to do more, and I have lots of ideas, and I think again it's a matter of like kind of focusing them and kind of taking the time and having the discipline to sit and write when I'm inspired
to write.
When I'm inspired to write,
yes,
and actually getting my thoughts out on paper, because I'm like, ooh, I have all these ideas. I'm like, oh, Bria, that's a good idea.
Let me write this one line down.
I'll write one line, and then I won't finish the poem for like 6 years.
Hey, that line was the beginning. You'll come back to that line, and that there'll be more added to that line.
I just need to have more discipline around like actually sitting down and making myself work on the things that I want to work on. Yeah.
That's like me.
Yeah.
You know, it takes me a very long time to finish an article, because I can write maybe a little paragraph or maybe a paragraph and a half, and then I say, wait a minute, I can't get any more out. You know, but I know what it is I want to write. I know that the event that I've seen, I remember it, but the trick is I've learned is that I need to write when the event takes place.
Oh, so you're like right in the moment?
Right in the moment, right then.
Isn't that tricky though? Like I would think that that's tricky, because it's like you want to be present and you want to actually be observing what's going on, and it kind of takes you out of it.
Like how do you? I tell you a secret. You guys did that, all those plays, those writings. I didn't have to remember much because I audio taped the entire thing.
You know what? You do what you have to do.
The entire thing, because I kept saying I gotta go back and write the article, and I'm going to, and I will let you know when I publish it online, so you can go in and read the article. But yeah,
me too, because I will forget. I will forget everything that happened the day after. I'll be like, I saw something really good. Yes. Please don't ask me to talk about it in details.
Now, because I can't.
No, I'll be like, there were some really good actors.
The
writing was good.
Good.
What did they say?
And you know the child that played the niece who was taking care of the grandma, she was amazing. But you know what?
I don't know her name. I don't know her name.
I don't know her name.
I don't know the character's name. I just know she did a great job.
There you go.
Yep.
She did a great job. That's it. That's all I can tell y'all.
That's how my mind. See, then our minds are set up similarly.
There you go.
But it sounds like you know yourself, so you have figured out ways to make things work for you, which is good.
I'm still working on making things work for me. Are you kidding? I was talking to a friend of mine just the other day. I was saying, you know, I am so far behind in all these articles. I'll tell you when to remember that you were in. Remember you did all, Jackie had you all doing all those Zoom.
Yes.
Oh, those were amazing.
those were fun and challenging. That was so different.
I know.
That was so different.
Because I kept saying, what is Jackie doing?
Zoom plays.
Zoom
that was
plays.
Something else. That was something else.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
But I loved it. You know, going back and forth from one screen to the next and from this character to that character. It was great. I loved it.
I think it was really challenging for actors too, because it's like you don't have that in-person energy that you're exchanging between the actors. So it really challenges you as an actor to try to seem believable when you're talking to a screen. That's a really good challenge. Yeah.
That is.
Yeah, it's a really good challenge.
That really is. Yeah, that is like, huh? Really?
It's like, oh, I'm supposed to.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
what? Oh, yeah. There were parts that they were talking about the grandmother, and the grandmother was over here talking, and I'm saying, and when they were talking about the grandmother, I kept saying, where's the grandmother? I don't see is the grandmother coming? And then all of a sudden, there was the grandmother. I said, oh, there actually was a grandmother. All right, we can work that one through.
Video on.
There you go, right there. I said, all right, y'all, I'll get it straight. You know, I'll get it straight. And I noticed it was just an interesting way of it being done. Because I'm saying, Jackie is really doing this. She's gonna keep the work going.
Oh yeah.
You know, however which way. Hey, if you got to do it that way, do it that.
She finds a way. Like no matter what it is, she makes it work.
Kat Mars did all those audacities and amplify the souls.
She's slowly taking over the world.
Online.
She is slowly taking over the world.
Oh, that girl. That woman there. Okay?
Yeah.
I've watched every single one of them. Every episode. I said, okay. But you know, Audacity was the most interesting because I got to learn about people that I didn't know about.
Yeah.
You know, it was just quite, and to learn new things. Like there was one that a doctor, Dr. Charmaine Jackman, she is a psychologist. She is a counselor over at Boston Arts Academy.
Oh, okay, I don't know her.
I didn't know her either. But she was there, and a young man called Notesy, something like that.
Cliff Notes?
Cliff, thank you. See, you know.
I've in more recent years have been exposed to some of these like really amazing poets. And performers, and I'm blown away and I'm just like, whoa. Like I was telling you, seeing the things that they create so quickly.
Yes.
I'm like, not only are you doing it like that, you're doing it well. And I'm just like, okay. I need to be like you when I grow up.
There you go. Can I be you tomorrow, please? Mm-hmm. But you know what we have? Before we go, we have another clip of you. Yes, and we're going to do that clip because I want everybody to hear that because I thought that was so beautiful. Absolutely.
Oh, more stuff from the
cyber
stalking files.
Yes, I dug. So we are going to get to see another clip. We can't leave without this one because I thought it was amazing. I really.
Da do da do da da, da do da da day, da do da do da da. We shall rise again one day. Da do da do da da, da do da da day, da do da do da da. We shall rise. There's a song in your heart that you know will survive, even through all the hurt, stress, and sorrows. There are no words to describe all the pain you've endured, and you wish for a brighter tomorrow. You can make it, but you gotta believe. We shall rise. We shall rise. Lift your voices. Lift your voices. We shall rise. Da do da do da. we shall rise again one day. Da-do-da-do-da-da, da-do-da-da-day, da-do-da-do-da-da, we shall rise.
There is a place in your dreams where you see that you're free and you live life as you were intended. All of the loss in your life and you feel like nothing's right, 'cause the holes in your world can't be mended.
You can make it,
but you gotta believe.
We shall rise.
We shall rise.
Lift your voices.
We shall rise.
We shall rise.
You can make it.
Lift your voices.
We were made for greatness.
We shall rise.
We'll survive.
Sing, my sisters, lift your voices.
That's one thing they can't take away.
Pain, it hurts, my brothers, but we know that we shall rise again one day.
This type of living is killing souls, oppression, you're feeling it, devastating the ignorance you're dealing with. What?
You can't believe what they tell you.
Facts manipulated, the lies they try to sell you. Let's lift our voices and declare we are the change gon' come. Already here though. The song that's in your heart survives, and there's nothing to fear. So rise,
Rise again one day, rise again one day. Oh, we shall rise again one day. Rise again one day, rise again one day.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I never got to hear all of that. But for me to listen to all of that, thank you. You know what you were doing, girl.
Thank you.
You know, you knew. You know, you are a star, you are a sister, you are a queen, you are a mother. You are so many things.
You're
And
not
we-
going to make me cry
And
today.
hey, I'm already in, and you know that.
Stop.
And we are our voices. And we have to use those voices. You know, we have.
we are conquerors, believe it, we are wonderful.
I'm listening. I think
We've got a little spoken word at the end.
hey, we loved it, and they're playing it.
On we shall rise. When we want to
You know.
we shall rise. Believe it and we
Shall rise again one day.
Okay, it's over for real this time.
Okay. Abria, thank you
Thank you.
for being here today, for sharing with me, and for, I know as long as we've known each other, this was a conversation
Yeah,
that needed to be had.
definitely.
And we had it. We had
And I'm
it.
glad it was with you because I'm so bad at this. It feels good to be with someone that I'm comfortable with you, and I've always appreciated your love, your support, your warmth. Thank
Love
you
you
for
dearly.
having me.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. Make it. Nice. They told me they were going to do this.
lift your voices.
Da-do-da-do-da-da, da-do-da-da-day, da-do-da-do-da-da, we shall rise again one day. Da-do-da-do-da-da, da-do-da-da-day, da-do-da-do-da-da.